Hello,
Okay.
everyone. This is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. I think I've said that now almost 100 times, and I'll never get tired of it because there's so many sales titans out there, and there's so many people coming up in the car business that are future sales titans. And I have one right in front of me. Casey reached out. He's listened to every episode every minute of Porter
Yeah.
Pro, and he sold 21 and a half cars last month. I mean, is this all coincidental? I think not. So let's meet Casey Bays. Thank you for booking the one-on-one. Tell us about yourself, Casey.
Hello. It's really great to be on your podcast. I was born in California, grew up in Montana. I got into the car business in 2017 after wrapping up about 7 years commercial fishing in the Bering Sea. I got married and needed to come stay home. So I got into the car business. I started out at Chevy, went to Ford, went to um, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and then took a break, and then here I am. So it's been about 6 years, 2019, since I've sold cars. So
Okay. What dealership are you at now or brand?
Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram in Wasilla, Alaska.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
Alaska. Awesome. The 907 area code.
907. Yeah, my best friend has 907 tattooed on his neck. From here, he's from Kodiak. He's a crab fisherman. Yeah. So
He's Alaska for life, man.
yeah.
Well, that's really cool. And you said something right before we actually started this episode, and you're talking about, uh, you know, self-investing. Tell me, like, what shifted in you to change to that?
Uh, Before, when I sold cars, I didn't really take stride until I worked at Lithia Ford in Missoula. Shout out to Shane. He's the GM there. He's incredible. And AJ. Um, I never really invested in the craft. I I was in good shape. I was, better looking, and I could get people in and out, and they wouldn't realize what happened, until they got home. Oh, I bought a car. I could just keep that excitement going. Whatever we call it, I forgot what we call it.
Ether?
Huh?
The ether?
The ether. Yeah, I could just, and 90%, 85%, that would just work. But I'd go to the desk just like, well, let's do this again. What do I go? Oh, miles for the, okay, right. Well, can you come help me? Because I don't, and then it's like, I didn't learn too much. I didn't invest in it. And then I took a break. And now here I am. I've listened to almost every episode before I started again. And I just, all of a sudden I sold, I went into it, sold 21 and a half cars. Uh, the truth of it, the beginning of the second month, two of those deals, one of them unwound and then they had to re-sign, and then one unwound and permanently we lost them. So technically it was 19 and a half, although I got paid for 21 and a half. But yeah, it's just time. I don't have a lot of the craft, and I'm more humble now. So I just want to get get as good as I can, as unto the Lord. I would say so.
Yeah. Well, what it sounds like to me is you're going from amateur to pro.
Yeah,
Professional car salespeople don't forget the miles. They don't forget to get the current odometer. They don't forget to have this sign. They don't forget to ask, are you guys financing or paying cash? They don't forget to say, are you putting money down or you guys want to finance the whole amount before they go to the desk. That's what a professional does. They have their little mental checklist of what I need to ask, because the less times you go back and forth, the more professional you look.
yeah,
Okay. Now,
absolutely.
now what you said earlier, and this is what I wanted to touch on, was the self-investing. You invested in listening to the podcast, and now you've invested in the one-on-one training session. But Men, especially family men with kids and a wife and people they look after, they invest in everybody else. Everyone else has new undershirts and new underwear and new socks and new shoes and new this and new that. Everyone is taken care of, and a lot of times the man of the house is the last to invest in himself because we find it to be selfish or greedy or I'm taking something away. But if you can just do a little investing, especially in training, because they can't take that from you. They can take the job from you. They can take the dealership away. They can do whatever, but they can't take the knowledge away. And if you can invest in yourself like that, then you can provide even more for them. So you just have to do a little bit of the self-care and give yourself a pat on the back once in a while and say, I love me, do some self-investing, and then all of a sudden now you can invest in them even more. So you're on the right track and being humble and being cocky versus confident, two different things, right?
Yeah.
Being humble just means that you're not as loud and vibrant in front of people that you don't really need to be.
Yeah.
But when you have a customer in front of you, then you put on the show, right? So you have all the right traits to go from amateur to professional, and at least you recognize it, Casey, because recognizing it is the first step. A lot of us don't want to admit that I suck in this category, or Kyle's not that great over here, or Kyle's not that great. I don't want to admit none of that. I want to say I'm the best and the best of the best. But until you can at least admit, okay, shoot, I do mess up over here and do mess up over there, kind of like your self, checking, little self checklist, then you can start getting better. And that kind of carries into your 4 points that you wanted to cover. And then I have my notes. So great job on selling that many cars last month. It's amazing. And if you can do that before you consider yourself the true 100% professional, what can Casey version 3.0 do? I mean, that's a scary guy, right? Casey, think about that. Casey back in the day was Casey 1.0. Now it's Casey 2.0 in the car business and you're doing big numbers. What the heck does Casey 3.0 do?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the Casey 3.0 might actually become a sales manager or go to finance. Casey 3.0 could be a GSM or a GM. We don't know what Casey 3.0 is, but until you start training, until you start taking things seriously, you'll never find out. And then you leave all that talent wasted and unknowingly, leave it all on the table and not put it to work. Um, so you're on the right steps. Okay. So the first one you sent me was fundamental checklist for a sales titan. I am close enough to the first day I worked here to make the course corrections needed towards greatness. So you're close enough to the beginning to where your trajectory is in the right path. You're not getting stuck with these bad habits, right?
Well, I want to make the right adjustments now, and I what I was really thinking about was all of my sold customers that I have not done really anything with. It's only been since May to put these habits in place to stay in touch with them. I listened to your podcast and I know how important that is, and I'm not acting, I'm not doing it, and I'll be the first one to call myself out. In fact, I should probably give myself a pat on the back more often because I'm harder on myself more often. And so here we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fundamental checklist. So that's why I invented that book, Sold as Gold. And I'm not trying to give a shout out to my own self, but Sold as Gold is the first step to taking the right actions to keep track of your customers. So can we both agree that if you sell a customer a car, is that customer going to buy another car?
Yes, absolutely.
They will. They always do.
Yeah.
History repeats itself. I need a new car. Who is the first person they think of when you sent them birthday cards and thank you cards and emails and texts and phone calls and you saw them at Walmart and you saw them at Target? Who's the first person they're going to think of when they need a new car?
Me, if I stay in touch.
Yes.
The best I got on the best crab fishing vessel in the world, the Kiska Sea, because I called the captain and left a message every 2 weeks for months. He said, I didn't know who else to call.
Boom. There it is. So I don't know if you have that book or not, but it's on Amazon. You can get it. I'll send you the link.
I'm gonna order it.
But
I'm gonna
it's
get it.
got 200 customer profile pages, and it has like pets names and kids names and this and that, and it's for each customer. So you don't have to rely on the CRM system because the CRM system is going to change at your dealership. It always does. Or the dealership loses, there's a whatever it is, you want to have a hard copy of your customer. You can go, oh shoot, I better call that guy, I forgot. And you have them, you stay in contact. If you could fill the 200 customer profile pages, then you have 200 contacts a month that you can reach out to and say, "Hey, how you doing with that car? My neighbor needs a car." Okay. It's sold is truly gold. That's why it's called that, sold is gold. So, but what I want to talk about with the fundamental checklist is what you can do every day. Okay? What can Casey do every day and have his own personal checklist to keep that trajectory going up? Because what happens with salespeople is we get good, and good is enough to pay the bills. Okay?
Yeah.
And good is about 3 to 4 hours of work a day, even though we're at the dealership 8 or 9 or 10. So we get to this point where, man, I'm a good salesman, man. I sell 10 to 15 a month. I pay my bills. I got a little bit in my 401k. And that's where we stop because that's a good comfort zone. But what we're missing out on is if you can sell 10 to 15 working 3 to 4 hours a day, what in the heck happens if you work 8 to 9 hours a day? And Casey is a good example of that. You're a good example because you sold 21 and a half. 21 and a half, they're not all laydowns. These are grindings and these are, you know, 12-hour days and staying late and coming early and having to come in on your day off. That is a grind of a month. But when you get your paycheck, you're like, boom, did it, family, we're good. So the daily checklist is what I kind of want to talk about. So this is what I want you to write down: 30-30-30, 30-30-30. Do you know what those are? Or an idea maybe?
30 phone calls, 30 texts, 30 emails, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, and I'm not knocking any salesperson that I've ever met, but there's a lot of salespeople. I see their stats, and they'll have 8 phone calls for the month, and it's like the fourth. So you've averaged 2 phone calls a day. You've averaged, 6 texts a day and 4 emails a day. But you didn't sell a car that day. So what in the world did you do with the rest of the day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you watched the lot, but guess what? When you're on the lot watching it, you can still text people. You can still post on social media. You can still do all this stuff while you're waiting for an up. You got your head on a swivel. Most
Mhm.
CRM systems allow you to have access via your phone, whether it's an app or the browser or something.
I got the same one you do. So,
Okay, perfect. So you got e-leads. So e-leads allows you to access it from your phone.
yep.
And you can do click to call. Boop. Hey
Yep.
Bill, you're on the lot watching. Hey Bill, yeah, this is Casey over at the dealership. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know you're busy and I'm busy too. I'm actually watching the lot right now, but your name came up and I wanted to reach out as soon as possible. Okay, yeah, I'll give you a call back in a few minutes. I know you're at work. Okay, thanks, buddy. Boom, there's a phone call. You're still on the lot. What happens if Bill's on the phone and an up's pulling up right in front of you? Hey Bill, my boss is looking at me weird. I'll call you right back. Boop. Right? You can say make something up that's relatable to the don't say I have another customer in front of me, right? Then he feels
No,
less valuable. But if you say everyone has a boss in the world, my boss just gave me a weird look. I better go check. All right, Bill, I'll call you right back. All right, bye. It it humanizes you. It probably gets a chuckle from Bill, and now he's looking forward to your call because he wants to know what the heck your boss was upset about. But really, what you're doing is getting that next customer so you can multitask. So when people tell me, "Oh, I watched a lot all day, I wasn't able to do all my phone calls," no, you can do it from your phone. That's why we have these phones,
yeah.
smartphones. So you got to make it religious that you're doing 30-30-30 every day. And you don't go home until you've completed your 30-30-30. Because what starts happening is you start knocking out 30-30-30 in half your day. And then you go to 60-60-60. And you fill your entire day with successes and moving car deals forward. If you didn't sell a car today, Casey, how many appointments did you set? Okay, so write this one down. No car sold today, 5 appointments. You're glitching a little bit.
Say that again?
Oh, you're glitching.
Yeah, I'm in a poor spot in the valley.
No problem. Okay, I see you there. So if you don't have any appointments down, if you don't have any cars sold, so 0 cars sold for today, but you made 5 appointments. Right, this is what we need to accomplish because not if everyone sold a car every day, then everyone would be a 30 car salesperson or a 25 car salesperson, right? It's so
Yep.
if you didn't sell a car today, what did you do to move a deal forward? Right? You
Yeah.
don't have to sell a car every day. Obviously, we want to, but there's days you just don't feel that great. There's days you might be coming in on, and you're sick. There's days that you hit every wrong customer. Everyone else sold cars. There's those days. It happens. But on those days that we didn't sell a car, what did we do to move another deal forward? Did we set appointments? Did we get someone approved? Do we have a guy coming in first thing in the morning to check out a truck? If having a car not if you don't sell a car for a day, that's okay. But man, if you got 3 appointments out of it for Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're stacking the future. And the more you can stack the future, the more cars you're going to sell. If appointments are some of the highest closing ratios and it's your least favorite thing to do, then you're missing the boat. It's truly one of the highest closing ratios. But salespeople don't like doing it. So you have the highest closing ratio that salespeople don't want to do. We need to readjust our thinking as salespeople and say, I need to set appointments every day. So out of those 30, 30, 30, what do you think a fair number is to for appointments from those 30, 30, 30 that you could achieve? Appointments you could achieve out of 30, 30, 30.
Probably like one or two,
Okay,
maybe maybe
let's,
more.
let's just use one. The,
Yeah,
the
I'd say
small, let's use the smallest number possible. Okay, now, Casey, what would happen to your month if you had one appointment every single day?
um, yeah, I would including fresh ups. uh, I'd probably be at 30. I'd probably be at 25 to 30. Yeah.
Okay. So we're using the smallest closing percentage. The smallest number we can literally have is one.
Yeah.
So if you did 30, 30, 30, and you get one appointment a day, which I think is a fair number, 30, what is that? 3%? Is that the number? Whatever the percentage. 3% closing ratio?
Mm.
1/30th. You can tell I'm not the mathematician here, but
My dad was not me.
so now, so now you have an equation to set one appointment a day. What happens if you do 60, 60, 60?
Yeah. It's, yeah. It's more too, yeah, the percentage goes up, and that's getting in. I want to establish the routine
Yes,
to
that's the
do that.
key. The
And
key is, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear you.
I'm just like, I'm kind of like hesitant, scared, whatever you want to call it. But I'm right on right on the edge, right on the precipice, kind of like right there. I'm about to leap off.
Mhm.
I just got to do it,
No, it's
yeah,
it's true because what men fear the most is denial. We hate getting denied. I used that, and I think in the last episode or whatever about the single guy at the bar and the pretty girl sitting there.
yeah.
Walking up to the girl is the most fearful thing in the planet. But once you get there and you realize, oh, she's actually kind of nice, right? But what we're in our own head a lot of times, and that last episode that I did where I was actually on the phone setting that appointment, you can hear me mumble around and fumble around as I say some funky things. But what was the conclusion of that phone call? Uh, an,
Well, yeah,
an
the,
appointment
the
at
whole goal was the appointment. It's like at the end of the conversation, you're pulling your earlier self on the call. Appointment right here. Oh, come on. And however it works, sometimes it gets a little, you
yeah,
know,
it can be ugly.
yeah. But hey, no, it wasn't ugly. You got it done.
Yeah, so we just have to get the over the fear of pick because a lot of salespeople like to text and email because there's no you're not getting denied, you're not getting beat up. You it's a one-way thing.
My favorite, I love Jim Rohn, the late 70s, 80s guy. Love Jesus, motivational speaker. It's about being in the presence of the customer, in the presence of the client or whoever,
Yeah.
the presence of, that's the most important, like calling them, or being with them, that's, got to call them. I think it's kind of avoiding the text and just email. You got to call. Like calling, I think is huge.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, like for instance, the podcast, it's a one-way street. All you get to do is listen, 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 right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
there's no feedback from my listeners or my customers. But now we get to do this. I get to build a relationship with Casey that I never had before. So it's the same with your customer. They like it when a professional calls them, they sound professional, and they're there to help them. I'm here to help you. Whether you buy or not, I use that in that appointment setting. Whether you buy or not, that's okay, but at least come check it out. Okay, I could be there at 11:30. So let's get back to the fundamental checklist. So 30, 30, 30. Write that down. Every day you need to do 30, 30, 30. And you need to get over any fears of calling, texting, emailing. Just do it. 30, 30, 30, because you're going to make a new habit. It takes 30 days to make a new habit. It takes two to break it.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay, the other one I want you to write down is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And that is 5 ups, 4 demo drives, 3 write ups, 2 into finance, 1 sold. That was told to me when I first started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 ups, 4 demos, 3 write ups, 2 in finance, 1 sold. And I never forgot that. It's 23 years later. I still never forgot it because it's so darn simple. The
Yeah.
whole thing about it is just get in front of people, Kyle. If you can get in front of these people, you're going to sell them cars. It's simply a numbers game. You can't sell 100% of the people you meet. So if you're only taking 1 up a day, then you're not going to sell 1 car a day. But if you take 5 ups a day, you're probably going to sell a car that day. So if you combined 30, 30, 30 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 every day, that is a sales titan. That is a guy who's selling 20 to 30 a month because it takes all day to do that. It takes all day to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It takes all day to do 30, 30, 30.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Keeps your day busy.
Yeah. I going back to what you in an earlier podcast, having a plan for your day, having an appointment in that plan builds confidence. And you got to do all this in order to get an appointment, but putting it all together, I lack in, product knowledge. I just whizzed through all my mandatory modules and I
Mhm.
didn't learn. So that's, I still have the opportunity to go back and learn,
Yeah.
but there's so many little areas that I'm like, just if I could just put it all together and just keep that, just keep at the rev limiter all day, just and
Yeah.
just go. I,
Okay, so let's knock out the fundamentals of the day because you're going to start keeping track of your sold customers. And I recommend the 2-to-1 ratio, 2 friendlies versus 1 ask for a referral. So, you know, let's say I sell you a car today,
yeah,
and in 3 weeks I call you just to check up on you, or 1 week, or whatever your follow up is. Let's say I call you, how you doing, Casey? This is Kyle over at the dealership. Just seeing how you're liking the car. If you have any questions on anything, buttons or this and that, come by and see me at the dealership. I want to make sure that you are 100% taken care of and you love your
yeah,
car to the max, okay? I'm not asking for a referral yet, or do you want to buy another one? No, that's not the time. And then a month after that, I call him again. Hey, Casey, this is Kyle over at the dealership. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You still loving it? Do you have any questions on anything? Okay, awesome. Hey, I was going to ask too. I know you mentioned when you were here, you got a new Traeger. How's that thing working out? Oh my gosh, that sounds great. Yeah, I love ribs too. Yep, 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 right? So then we get over that phone call. Now you have two good phone calls. You're on a different level with that customer. Now the third phone call in a month or two after that, Casey, it's Kyle over at the dealership. Still loving that car? Oh, you need an oil change? I'll set it for you. Don't worry about it. I'll have my service advisor call you. Yep. Now my boss was asking me about some trade-ins. I guess we're desperate on trade-ins. I didn't notice. But do you know anybody who needs a car? Someone's driving a beater with a heater? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be great if you give me their name and number. You deserve that name and number now because you're not always bugging them about, referral, repeat, or this and that. So I always did two friendly, one business slash friendly, back to two friendly, back to one, and spread it out. And then remember, you got to stay in contact with them until they need another car. You can't just give
Yeah.
up on them.
That's the whole thing. I mean, I've never done it. And I mean, in theory, you're right. I've never actually done it, but I mean, it's there for the taking. And I think so many, I don't know that I know one, maybe a couple people that have ever actually done it. And you hear about them like they're like this prophet or they're just I mean, you hear about like this one guy back in the day and he just crushed it. Now he's, you know, but
Well, I,
I want to be, I
I
guess.
I know one right now, and I'll send you his Instagram, and you can follow him. I know one right now that's selling 30 to 40 a month, and
Yeah.
most of them are referrals and repeat sold because he's doing exactly what we're talking about. He cares.
Yeah.
He cares about his customers, not just about the sale and the voucher. He truly cares about his customers, and he stays in contact with them, and he's their friend, and he's their contact point. When was the last time someone set an oil change, a salesman set an oil change appointment for you in your life?
Never.
Never. So what happens if Casey follows up with a customer he sold 6 months ago and said, "Hey, have you got your first oil change yet?" No? Let me set it for you. Right? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to be filling out the check on, when he needs a car.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so if you don't sell a car that day, that's okay, but you better have some appointments set. Reach out to your sold customers. This is your fundamentals for every day. Set appointments, reach out to your sold customers, 30, 30, 30, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just start there. It's a lot. That fills a day.
Forgive me one more time. Okay. So checklist 30, 30, 30, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, two friendlies, one business, two friendlies, and
Yep.
then reach out. Same thing. I know this is copied or this is recorded, so I'll
Yeah.
go back.
It'll be recorded. Okay. So the second one, the roots of making gross, the mindset of gross, not just hitting the steps of the sale, but thinking ahead, taking risks, overcoming the trade objections to undervalue and be creative. Let's see here. Thinking like a manager. I want to know the ins and outs. Okay, so when I first started at the Ford dealership in 2003, I had no idea how to hold gross. No one trained me, and I wasn't that great at it. They just said, go sell a car. It was a grind. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Never held gross. Made a couple grand a month. Okay, so that and I worked there for about almost 2 years, and then I moved to Bakersfield and I started at Jim Burke Ford. It's a big dealership, been there over 70, 80, 100 years probably now. And I wanted to hold gross. But I found out that this dealership does walk around competitions and they give spiffs out during the Thursday sales meetings. They would ask product knowledge questions and they would throw a 20 at you if you got it. I'm like, wow, they pay for me to know product. And they have these walk around competitions that pay 500 bucks if you win. So Kyle inadvertently started getting really good at product presentations and walkarounds at a store level, not even in front of a customer, because I wanted to make the spiff money. Who knows the horsepower of a 2005 Mustang GT 320? What's the torque of a '06 F350 diesel? The torque 560 or whatever. It's been so many years now. 560. Like boom, Kyle, here's 20. Kyle, here's. I started cleaning the house every Thursday, And then they started doing these walk around competitions. I started winning all of them. But what it did for me is when I got in front of a customer, I knew everything about the car. So I have this little bit of talent, this little raw talent, coupled with knowing everything about the car. And then I started getting these vouchers. I didn't give nothing away. And I was wondering, why are people not asking me for discounts? And when they do ask, I say, yeah, here's all the incentives that Ford offers. Okay. Why is this happening? So I actually got a nickname at that Ford store called the Jeezel because every voucher I had was a G. And uh, I'm like, okay. And they called me the Jeezel for years. Uh, but where it came from was the product knowledge. So the product knowledge gave me confidence when I did my walk around. My was very convincing because I knew what the heck I was talking about. Okay, so the knowledge, product knowledge gives you confidence. Confidence makes you convincing. When you're convincing, that is when that customer, and I've said this before, relinquishes their power to you. Oh, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. Okay. Kyle, doesn't this Ford Focus have turbos? No, actually, that would be the Ford ST. This is a naturally aspirated Ford Focus 2.0, right? I mean, I'm dating myself because they don't even make the Ford Focus anymore when I was on a sales floor there. But no, this one's naturally aspirated. It has 136 horsepower. The one you're talking about is that ST model, which is awesome, has 200 horsepower, but that's not probably the one you want. It's a manual. It's got all this stuff. And to be honest, a naturally aspirated motor has less moving parts. Less moving parts means more reliability. So when you see these reliability claims that the Ford Focus has, they're talking about this one. That one's 30, this one's 20. Oh yeah, let's go try this one. I'm not saying you can't buy it, Mr. Customer, but that's the one you saw with the turbo and all the horsepower. Unless you want a manual. No, 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 we don't drive manual. It's just a commuter car. Then this would be the one. But you see how the professional version of me came out with that product knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, think about yourself, Casey. Do you sound that convincing when you're talking?
No. No, I don't have the product knowledge. In fact, I know so little about just the basics of a walk around, that I'm just pointing out things that they can use with those eyes that they have. Oh, I'm just like, oh, the heated seats in the back. It's got a sunroof. It's got rear view mirror.
Okay, so let me ask you this hard question.
Yeah.
Based on what you just said about the product knowledge and being able to be convincing, do you deserve big vouchers?
No.
Okay. So if I have a toothache and I go to Bubba around the corner and he knocks my tooth out and I pay him, 20 bucks because he just knocked my tooth out because I got a root canal problem. Does he deserve what the real dentist gets paid?
No.
No. Bubba gets my 20 bucks for knocking out my tooth, right? He doesn't get $3,000 to pull out my tooth like the dentist because
Okay.
the dentist is the professional. The dentist is sanitary. The dentist has the right facility. So
Okay.
you need to be not Bubba in the alley. You need to be Dr. Bays at the dealership, and Dr. Bays knows all of his product knowledge. Now, you're selling Jeeps right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
CJDR. Yeah.
Okay, what is the horsepower of a 4xe Wrangler?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. What is the
Yeah.
horsepower of an e-torque Ram?
Honestly, I think I might know one horsepower on the HO
Cummins?
the 5.7, or no, the six cylinder HO. It's bad. I mean, I can make a friend. That's what I'm really good at. The rest of it is like scary.
Okay, that's okay. It's a self-check. We just did a self-check. right?
Yeah.
A diagnosis of ourself. So,
Yeah.
so the first step for you to make more gross is not fancy word at the desk. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not where you need to start. You need to start with your product knowledge and your walkarounds. Then you're going to start seeing more gross because now you're a convincing salesperson. You're not fumbling around when they have questions. You know everything. And when you do a proper walk around that's tailor based, tailor made to them, you won't have questions from them. You're covering everything. Okay. So product knowledge gives you the confidence. Confidence gives you the ability to be convincing. Convincing is what makes sales and makes profit.
Yeah.
Okay. So thinking like a manager is like, so when I go into closing a deal for a salesperson, I go in fearless. I'm fearless because that is what the job expects of me. I can't have any fear. I wasn't promoted to sales manager because I was timid or scared of customers or, oh, I don't do great with this client. I only like dealing with mom and pa. Well, mom and pa, everyone does good with mom and pa. It's
Yeah.
how are you with the engineer? How are you with the businessman? So
Right.
you think like a manager, you have to be fearless of any scenario. How can I help you guys? Oh man, we had this truck. It's been giving me problems. We bought it here 3 years ago. I swore I'd never come back. First and foremost, I am so sorry you're having those problems. That is not, Ram's intention. But my name's Casey. Are you thinking about trading it in? Well, yeah, yeah. We'll see what you guys can do for you. You better make it right. Yeah, you know what? We better make it right. Otherwise, we're going to lose a customer for life. So let me do this. Let me help you as best as I possibly can to find the right vehicle. And then I'll work with my manager, tell him what's happened in the past with you. And maybe we can put some really, really good numbers together where you leave happy, you leave giving us a 5-star review, and I have a new friend. You see how the way that whole conversation was shifted? I'm apologetic. I'm sincere. I actually feel bad for the dude, even though he's coming off a little threatening, right? So you have to go to every scenario with no fear. And one of the things when salesmen sit down at the desk, after they've done a great job, let's say you did everything right, you have all the product knowledge, they like you, they trust you, but they're like, well, we want 5 grand off. That is where holding gross also has effects. Well, we don't do 5,000 off at this dealership. We never have. And if they had that kind of profit in these vehicles, trust me, I would have every one of my family members working here. But here's what I will promise you. I will get you the best possible deal I can. Whether that
Yeah.
looks great or not, that's kind of beauty in the eye of the beholder. But let me put it on paper what we can do, and then you can decide. First and foremost, are you financing or paying cash? Oh, we're financing. Okay. Now, let me kind of explain something. I've had customers sit here and beat me up for 20, 30, 40 minutes on the price, right? And then the payment comes back too high. How about we do this? How about we look at the whole picture, the price, the incentives, and the financing portion. So maybe I can save you some money over here in the financing where I couldn't over here in the price. Let's look at the whole picture because if it's affordable for you, you'd probably take the vehicle, right? So now I'm shifting some of the blame over to interest. I'm trying to figure out different ways. I'm kind of muddying the waters, but I've yet to say anything about his 5,000. Oh yeah, well, let me see. Let me go back to my boss, see if we can do 5,000, right? I'm muddying the
Yeah.
waters. Let's get a credit app. Oh, you are financing. Okay. If you're going to be financing, how much money are you going to be putting down? The banks, sometimes they say zero because that's just default. The banks require typically 10%. This vehicle's 50,000. So that would be about 5,000 bucks. Do you have that? Well, they don't have it. So they're not worried about the price anymore. Now they're worried about, crap, I don't have 5,000 bucks. And in their head, the stress about the price has been dwarfed by the stress about Kyle needs 5,000 down to make this deal. Well, if you could do it with 3,000 down and get me to 800 bucks, I'll take it. Okay, so the price is not the problem anymore. It's they have 3,000 down, they want an $800 payment. There's lots of little things in there
Yeah.
to get off the price. But where salesmen are scared is they don't say no. They don't say, no, we don't have 5,000 bucks. and they just sit there and stare at the customer. We don't have 5,000 bucks. We never had. If we did, I'd have every one of my family members work here. That'd be insane. We have hundreds of dollars. Where I can save the most money is on the interest rate and the factory incentives. Let me work on those and get to an affordable payment, which, by the way, are you financing? Yeah, we're financing. Okay. Let me work on that stuff and look at the whole picture, see what kind of payment we can do. Banks typically want 10% down. That's 50,000 bucks. Do you have 5,000 down? Well, no, I have two. Okay, what's that max payment that you think you can afford? 800? These are usually the last customer sign was like 1,000. So what you're telling me, Mr. Customer, if I can do it with 3,000 down and get you to 800 bucks ish, it might be 810, it might be 790. But you're telling me 3,000 down, 800 bucks a month, you take the truck. Okay, let me work on that before you grind my face off. Because a lot of times people grind on me for 20, 30 minutes and I come back with a $1,200 payment. And none of it matters. None of it mattered, Mr. Customer. Let me work on the stuff that really matters, and that's down payment and your payment, okay? And I would come back with 799 with 3,000 down at full price with a warranty. All right, you got a deal. I'd stick that paperwork in there and start signing. I'd shut my mouth and start signing. So that doesn't work at the desk unless you've done the job on the floor.
Yeah.
You can't use what I just did if you haven't gained their respect and you haven't earned their trust and you haven't been convincing on the product side. The product side is the resume to set up gross.
Yeah.
Can you think of areas that you could have used all this with customers, or are you thinking of ways you can improve already?
Every single customer, whether they know anything about cars or not, um, it's a valuable it's valuable to have all the knowledge. I mean, not just of my own product. I remember you saying also other product, like randomly learning about this and learning about that, and all these, all this knowledge is going to come is going to come into play at some point, because you're going to get everything in your used inventory.
Hmm.
So there's work to be done there.
Yeah. And this goes back to kind of what you're saying, the fundamental checklist. Product knowledge is one of the fundamentals. It's just part of knowing and the steps of the sale. If you want the fundamentals, you better know what you're selling. If you want the fundamentals, you better know how to get from meet and greet to sale. You have to know all these things for it to all come together for gross. Gross is not a magic sentence. It's never been a magic sentence at the desk. It's the setup to it. It's the build up. Just like when you cut down a tree, you can have a dull blade and spend two hours cutting down the tree, or you sharpen your blade for an hour and a half and you cut down the tree in 30 minutes. Are you the dull blade or are you the sharp assassin? That's where the product comes in.
It also, right now I'm in this, I'm in my second month, and the time that I spend, it varies. Sometimes I'm, pretty fluid, streamlined, and other deals I have a hiccup here and there. There's like a little, oh, we got to work this deal backwards, and then I'm like, you know,
Glitching.
just
You glitched.
my manager's like, "Where's Casey?" And it's like, what happened? I mean, my first 2 weeks, my managers were like, where is Casey? I thought he was a credit app, and then where hours and hours, and it's getting better. But the time is valuable to the customers. It's important to keep things moving along. My
Yeah.
manager's like, well, you want to make more gross? Well, you got to be fluid. You got to get that. You got to rip out that credit app. And then be ready. It's all got to come together. But I've got to be willing. I've just got to do it. I sit there at the desk like, okay, I could call all these people, or I could sit here and wander for a few minutes, or I could do something. It's like, I
Well,
appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, with customers, when you get those hiccups and you're like lost in space, that will eventually clear up because what's happening is a customer tells you that they have a trade after you work the numbers. There's the hiccup. The customer says, "Oh, the vehicle's in my brother's name," and that throws you off. Oh, okay, well we got to figure this. Oh, I want to put it in my business name. There's the hiccup. Oh, I just had a repo. And sometimes those little things throw you off your game. But the more customers you get with and deal with these scenarios, the smoother it will happen. So you just give yourself time there. Give yourself time. Don't beat yourself up on that. But here's what I do know about time and customers. The moment they say yes to the deal, you shut your mouth and you start doing paperwork because they'll use 5 hours of your time on the lot looking at cars, all this stuff, right? They're never in a hurry when they're using your time. But the moment they say yes at the desk, all of a sudden they're like, all right, we got to get out of here by, 3. Like, you just use 5 hours of my time on the lot. Now you only have 30 more minutes, right? So the moment they say yes, whoop, unless they're talking to you or you have a question, you just start signing. All right, this is our policy here. You're going to sign this. This is the title stuff. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm going to get you in the queue for the next finance guy. You switch over to Sonic the Hedgehog and you start running. Okay?
Yeah.
Because now you're on their time. You want to get them in and out as fast as possible. Okay, so just a recap of holding gross. Let's start with product knowledge. Okay, you got to know your product knowledge. That's just part of it because we talked about the confidence and the convincing. And then once you've mastered your product, then when a new product comes in, a new lineup or a new vehicle, you're already caught up on everything. Now you just have to worry about the new thing coming up or the new update or the new engine because you've already got everything else down. Now you're looking for updates. Okay, oh, the new Jeep has this, because you can point out new things because you know your vehicle so well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on. The third one was always giving more. I know that it, that's how men are built. We just keep going and going and going. You mentioned protecting the dealership. Um,
I
give,
think what I meant is being a team player. I
yeah,
want to put the team first. The best. I mean, I just went to my original the manager who really kind of laid the foundation for me to kind of to do well. He said, "Make it about the team." I go, "How did you get to where you're at?" He's a Lithia GM. He's like, "Make it about the team. Make it about yourself." And who knows how far you're going to go, but you make it about the team. And yeah,
some of my favorite things I see my sales guys do is like, so at night we lock up, we walk the lot and pull all the handles. That's just what we do. We don't have a security guard. The sales team does it. And I jump in too because I want to get my steps in. I'm always at the desk, so I get my steps in that way. But what excites me the most is when I see a particular one or two guys say, hey, I don't even have to tell them. 15 minutes, let's go lock up the lot. Those are my favorite kind of guys because first they're protecting the dealership, they're locking up the cars. Sometimes we find a car that's still running because the battery was dead, so we left it
yeah,
running. Salesman went home, right? So some of my favorite things I see on the floor is when a salesman is doing stuff like managers would do. And those are the guys I think about that if I ever moved on, did another position, that would be the guy I want. He's already doing a lot of that manager stuff. He grabs the team. He says congratulations. He takes the phone and takes a picture of that salesman with their customer. Hey, I'll take the picture with, and congratulating them. Those are the kind of or you see a piece of trash in the showroom, you pick it up. That kind of stuff. I love seeing that kind of stuff from my guys. Um, Giving my time and talent and treasure to my coworkers for my customers, providing a genuine, exciting. Okay, let's talk about your teammates first. Uh, be a team player and don't be. And you're probably not this type of person. As we get older, we don't really care about the stuff, but like jealousy. Oh, this guy sells more than me. You know, just let all that go. Instead of being jealous and all that, be happy for the guy. Wow, great job this month. Congrats, man. You beat my butt, right? Those
yeah,
are those are the kind of guys that your GM's talking about. Be a team player.
yeah,
Uh, and then asking your sales manager or your GM, like, hey, what's our internet lead closing ratio for the month, like average? And he says, oh, it's 8%. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get mine to 10. That kind of stuff. Okay, and then for customers, just be genuine with your customers. Don't lie to them. Be a happy,
Yeah.
humble guy, and provide a great experience for your customers because they're not going to get it at any other dealership. They're going to get an average guy who hates his job, who's not a good salesman, who can't stand that he has to be here for 10 hours. Or they meet Casey, who loves his job, loves his dealership, loves his product, and loves helping people. Those are the guys that sell a lot of cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to. I think giving, just being kind, and I gave a deal. A guy missed 2 or 3 weeks. He had a bait. Man, his dad passed away, and he 1 week, and he had a baby the next. And he missed some time. I threw him a half deal, and I'm no problem, whatever. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
like I mean, maybe a whole deal would have been better, but I have no problem. Like, I want the guys to be, I want them to get what they deserve, and more. So I try to. That's the guy I want to be. So
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a difference between humble and kind and friendly and a pushover. You're not a pushover. So you got to be
no,
careful of that too. Don't let people take advantage of you because I see that on the sales floor. There's a couple guys that are always getting taken advantage. Hey, can you deliver this for me? I'm off tomorrow. Can you just put the happy sticker in and maybe pair their phone? No. You want to put me on half the deal? Well, no, then you need to deliver it.
I motor right through that. I don't think any. I mean, I don't. I am kind. But my motor is going. I don't think anybody wants to put anything in my way like that. But
Yeah. So just that's a balance there, being kind and then being a pushover. Don't be a pushover. Okay,
yeah,
and then walk around basics. We're coming up on an hour, and walk arounds are so important
yeah,
because it's becoming a lost art. It's becoming a lost art because customers, um, how can I put, because you can't blame the customer ever, but customers do a lot of research online, so they know a lot. They know a lot about the car. So salesmen, when they get these customers that know a lot about the car, are intimidated because they don't want to say something wrong or they don't know as much as the customer. So they don't even do a walk around because they don't want to be made a fool. So the art is being lost, but still the best salesmen are the ones who butterfly the car out, show the product, know the product, get them in that test drive and bring them back. So the walk around basics, we talked about this already, but start with the product knowledge. When I say butterfly the car, I mean open everything up. Boom.
hood, doors, trunk.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah,
And when I had that customer that I wasn't clicking with 100%, and I've mentioned this in my other episodes, I would ask them, do you mind if I give you a product presentation? After we find a vehicle, I would
yeah,
say, you mind if I give you a product presentation? If I wasn't clicking with them and I couldn't just open a vehicle up, and a lot of time, actually every time they said, well, yeah. I say, excellent. I just want to show you the vehicle and show you all the ins and outs. And you may already know a lot about the stats and the horsepower and all that, fuel economy. I don't need to cover that stuff because it sounds like you're an educated buyer. But let me show you the car, the physical car. And you open it up and you can kind of point out how the leather feels and how on this particular Jeeps, they have a rugged material on the side. Make everything a point that's positive. So, when customers say, "Oh, just the front's leather, but what's this side? It's pleather." Like on seats, how the sides aren't real leather.
yeah,
Well, it's not because the Jeeps want to cheap out. It's because when you get in, a lot of Jeep owners have knives and keys and all these things, and so the leather tears quicker. So they use this like super material on the sides. It's not that they didn't want to put leather over there. It's just they wanted the longevity. Jeep owners are typically rugged people, or they're becoming rugged. They want to get out on those trails, and they don't want your little things on your belt and your pockets to tear the seats. So you can turn every negative into a positive when you're doing a walk around. Well, why does it only have this? Well, it's because of this. You better have an answer. Why are the running boards, what Jeep running boards? They have the rock guards, right? Those rock rails, like on a
Yeah,
Rubicon or something. Well,
yeah.
what's the point of a rock rail?
Up when you're out in the rocks, right? I don't know. Off
Yeah, no,
road.
it is. The rock
Yeah,
rail, because some Jeeps don't have running boards, they have the rock rails. Well, where's the steps? Well, there is no steps. It has these rock rails, so if something pops up or you go over a rock and it's trying to hit the body, it hits that rock rail. Like you
yeah,
turn everything into a positive point in your walk around. But the end of the walk around needs to have the customer in the driver's seat. That is where it all concludes, the driver's seat. That way you don't have to ask for the test drive. They're already in the seat.
yeah. Uh, Kyle, I know we're coming up towards the end of the hour.
Okay, go ahead. We're good.
I just want to say that I appreciate your podcast. I've listened to you from the beginning, all the way to the end. I listened to season two probably three or four times, and then a couple other ones. But it's amazing to me that I went in my first month and I got paid for 21 and a half, but 21 and a half, like right out of the gate. And like literally my last month selling cars was like July of 19 or June of 19 or something like that to May 1st of 25. And I just, boom. And there's, it's not the biggest dealership. It's not the smallest either, but I just listened, focused on your podcast. I listened, and I'm reading Joe Verde's, sell a car today, right?
Yeah.
I think that if I wouldn't have done those two things, I would, who knows what I would have done, but I really appreciate your podcast. And do you mind if I give a shout out to my guys or real quick?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just I have an incredible general manager, Ansel Sandone, and sales manager, Chris Cook, and all the guys at the Lithia where I work in Wasilla. It's a great crew. The service department, great. Daniel in the service department, all the guys are just all the techs. Anyway, it's just a great place to work. I really appreciate you, Kyle.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words. And it's really cool that you give shout outs like that because it's nice to see that there's other sales managers out there and other GSMs out there that care enough to train and help their sales guys. Because from the feedback I get, it's not enough of it out there. It's gatekeepers that get to the desk or finance and they don't want to share the information because they're scared that their job is going to get taken by the next gen. And then there's the class of people like me and your other people that you just mentioned that we're proud to share the information and we're not gatekeepers because we want to be replaced by someone better than us. I'm waiting for someone to try to take my job. You know what I mean? But they haven't presented themselves yet. So more power to you. And the fact that you're training Casey already, even though it's your first and second month back in the car business, your trajectory of success is already crazy. So you're doing great. Just give yourself a little time to catch back up to the new way of doing car business. Everything's changed. And also to sell 21 and a half cars at the Ram, Jeep, Chrysler products right now, they're not doing the greatest. So not only are you at, a medium-sized dealership and you're new back into the business, but you have a company that's, had some struggles with some vehicles and so you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Stellantis. I have a job because of them, and we have ups and downs in our seasons. I want to say that so just a little update. So it is what, the 17th today?
No, today's the 19th.
Today's the 19th. So I've got 12 out as of today.
Nice.
So anyway, and my goal for this month was to increase my average commission amount. So I've gone up from commission amount average 292 to this month is 328
Good job.
on average. So anyway, that's just a little update. So
No, that's good. Because and watching your stats is very important too, because you want to always be increasing. Yes, we're going to have a month that sucks and it's down, but the overall growth is what you're looking for. And then you're going to get to a point where it's like I can't sell over 24 cars. I'm stuck at 24. It's like I get to 23 and then I get to 24 and then that's it. And you get to that ceiling, and then you'll have to figure out, okay, what else can I do to tweak and change something. So each version of yourself will cap somewhere. And then you got to go version 3.1,
Right.
3.2. You get these little mental updates to where now, oh, I'm version 3.3, I'm selling 27 a month. But the key is to always go up, and tracking your stats is one of those ways to do that.
So something. So last thing, I'm a bit handicapped in the whole Kyle Galaz like picture of like all the things you can do, right? Like Facebook, like somebody ruined it. I don't know who it was. All I know is I am not allowed to sell on Facebook at the moment. Somebody ruined it for a little while. I think it's going to come back on. It'll be back online eventually, but that is not one of the quivers in my arrow at the moment, or my one of my arrows in my quiver, whatever, you know.
Yeah, so what you can do on Facebook is create a business page. You can do
Yeah.
Casey Bays at and then your dealership name and start taking pictures of cars, start taking pictures of you and
Okay.
your customers and
Yeah.
and do hashtags, hashtag Alaska, hashtag your town, hashtag Stellantis, hashtag Jeep, and just start getting a presence out there because if even if you don't even if you can't sell on Marketplace, it doesn't mean you can't post a deal of the day on your Facebook page.
Keep the buzz, right? Get the
Yeah.
buzz out.
And it keeps you busy. It keeps you busy. And those hashtags, people say hashtags don't work or not, but I still think they work a little bit. And the hashtag makes your post relevant to other people that search for those hashtags. So so like if you post hashtag Jeep Wrangler, then people in Jeep Wrangler clubs, people that are constantly looking at Jeep Wrangler stuff, you'll hit their algorithm. And then reels, if you want to reach a lot of people on Facebook, make a reel. And you don't have to be on camera. You can just point at the lot and say, "Hey, I'm over here at this dealership. This just came in. It's a new, this, and that. It's got a new color. What do you guys think of the new color?" And post a reel video. And the reel you film it this way, kind of like you are on my phone, upright, not widescreen. You do it, do it upright, and then you post that to Facebook and just see what people say. But it's exposure, exposure, exposure. Just getting your name out there. But it keeps you busy. It keeps you on the lot. It keeps you active instead of sitting around waiting for something to happen. You're out there making something happen. Staying busy.
Absolutely. Hey, I'd like to. I don't have it nailed down yet, but I'd like to visit with you maybe every month and a half, every month and a half, 2 months, something like that. So I
Yeah,
appreciate.
just message me, think of some topics. And if you want to go in depth on a particular subject, if you have one subject that you want to book the whole hour, we can do that too. So, like
Okay.
just for instance, walk arounds alone, I don't even think an hour is long enough for a full walk around, and then closing at the desk and objections and things like that. It can go on and on. And even after my 23 years in the business, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So it really is a never-ending story. But the more you train, Casey, the higher you'll soar, right? The more you flap those wings every day, the higher you'll soar. And the only limiter, the only governor on your speedometer is you. That's it. No one's going to hold you back. Well, the only people that hold us back are ourselves, unless someone chains you to a wall. But I feel like you're doing the right steps already, and you can reach out to me anytime. Message me, and if you want to book another one, just let me know. I'm happy to help people.
Funny thing, I was born in Sacramento. My mom was grew up in Elk Grove, close to. I think isn't that where you're
Yeah,
stopping right
Lodi.
now?
Lodi is where I was pretty much born and raised.
And my new home is just over the mountains from you in Corvallis, south of Missoula. So I was raised south of Missoula in Corvallis. So anyway, go Blue
That's
Devils.
awesome.
But uh,
It's
my wife and I might move back in the area. Who knows? We'll see. We might not. But anyway,
Well,
so
you figure it
thanks.
out. You know where to find me. All right, Casey, anything else?
No, I appreciate your podcast. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay, I'll send you the link to this video once I get it uploaded. It'll be private until you well, just review it and let me know if you want it to go public, and I'll have it on a future episode.
Take it public. It's totally fine. Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I wanted, the point is to be Titan bound. That's Titan word. So
Yeah. You're on your way, buddy. I appreciate it. It's very nice meeting you.
yeah, nice meeting you too.
Thank you.